Ladies and gentlemen, this is Les Brown, and I want you to listen closely because today is the day you break free from the chains of fear, doubt, hesitation, procrastination, and all the invisible walls that have been keeping you from stepping into the life you deserve. And I know what it feels like to be stuck. I know what it feels like to wake up every day and feel like you're living the same year over and over again. I know what it feels like to watch time slip through your fingers while your dreams gather dust in the corner of your mind. I know what it feels like to want more, but feel trapped by your circumstances, your mistakes, your past, and your own doubts. But I came here to tell you that being stuck is not permanent. Being stuck is not your destiny. Being stuck is only a signal that life is calling you higher, that you are ready for a breakthrough, that you are ready to evolve, that you are ready to tap into the greatness within you. And I'm here to remind you that you have greatness within you. You have more power, more strength, more potential, more ability than you can even begin to imagine. And the moment you decide that you will not stay stuck is the moment your whole life begins to change, because life does not respond to hesitation. Life responds to boldness. Life responds to action. Life responds to courage. And if you are willing to take that first step, if you are willing to push yourself beyond your comfort zone, if you are willing to rise, even when you feel like falling, if you were falling, are willing to believe even when doubt screams louder, you will begin to experience the shift from paralysis to progress, from stagnation to momentum, from fear to faith. And once you catch momentum, nothing can stop you, because momentum is a force. Once you get it rolling, it carries you, lifts you, it pulls you forward. And the hardest part is always starting. The hardest part is always deciding. The hardest part is always saying enough is enough. I will not stay stuck another day. I will not waste another moment. I will not keep waiting for the perfect time, because the perfect time will never come. The perfect time is now. This is your moment. This is your season. This is your time to break free. And you've got to say to yourself, I'm not going to let fear run my life anymore. I'm not life anymore. I'm not going to let procrastination steal my future anymore. I'm not going to let the hostage anymore. I'm not going to let the mistakes of yesterday chain me down anymore, because I am more than my failures. I am more than my fears. I am more than my doubts. I am more than my setbacks. And I am more than what I've been through, because I have greatness within me and I have power within me. And I will rise. I will fight. I will break free. I will get unstuck. I will live the life I was meant to live, because life is not meant to be endured. Life is meant to be lived with passion, with purpose, with fire, with hunger. And when you wake up to that truth, you can no longer stay stuck. You can no longer settle. You can no longer play small, because something inside of you will not let you. Something inside of you will scream for more. Something inside of you will push you forward. Something inside of you will remind you that you were born to shine. You were born to rise. You were born to win. We're born to inspire. You were born to make a difference, and that something is your greatness, that something is your power, that something is your purpose. And the only way to unlock it is to get unstuck, to move, to rise, to act, to persist, and to believe, because belief is the engine that drives action, and action is the spark that creates momentum, and momentum is the current that carries you toward your destiny. And every single time you say to yourself, I can, I will, I must, you are breaking the chains that once held you down. You are building a new identity. You are programming your mind to rise. You are rewiring your spirit to soar. And I'm here to tell you that you cannot afford to keep living small. Cannot afford to keep living stuck. You cannot afford to keep living in fear, because life is precious, time is short. And your purpose cannot wait another year, another month, another week, another day, not another hour, because every second you spend stuck is a second you will never get back. And when you look back on your life, you don't want to look back with regret. You don't want to look back and say, I should have, I could have. I could have, I would have. You want to look back and say, I did. I tried, I gave it everything I had. I lived full, I died empty. And in order to do that, you must break free from the quicksand of hesitation, because hesitation kills more dreams than failure ever will. Hesitation whispers, maybe tomorrow, maybe next year, maybe when the kids are grown, maybe when I have more money, maybe when I have more confidence. But I'm here to tell you, there will never be a perfect time. There will never be perfect conditions. There will never be an ideal situation. You must start with what you have, where you are. You must step out in faith. You must act in courage. You must dare to begin. And when you begin, the universe responds. When you begin, doors open. When you begin, resources appear. When you begin, the right people come into your life. When you begin, the path unfolds. And what once looked impossible suddenly becomes possible. Because you dared to move, you dared to believe, you dared to act. And that's what it means to get unstuck. It means you stop waiting and you start creating. It means you stop wishing and you start working. It means you stop doubting and you start daring. It means you stop looking at what you don't have and you start using what you do have. And let me tell you something. You have more than enough. You have more strength, more wisdom, more resilience, more creativity, more power, more potential than you have ever used in your entire life. And if you begin to tap into just a fraction of that greatness, you will astound yourself. You will shock yourself. You will inspire yourself. Because you will realize that the only thing that ever kept you stuck was the story you were telling yourself about why you couldn't move. And the moment you change that story, the moment you rewrite that narrative, the moment you tell yourself, I can, I will, I must is the moment you begin to rise. Because words have power, thoughts have power, beliefs have power. And when you align them with your purpose, when you align them with your hunger, when you align them with your vision, you unleash a force greater than any obstacle you face. And suddenly fear shrinks, suddenly doubt disappears, suddenly obstacles become opportunities, suddenly problems become possibilities because you shifted from being stuck to being unstoppable. And once you taste that freedom, once you taste that momentum, once you taste that progress, you will never want to go back. You will never want to settle. You will never want to hide. You will never want to shrink because you will know that you were created for more. And you will know that your life has meaning, and you will know that your dreams are possible. And you will know that your struggles were not in vain. And you will know that everything you've been through was preparing you for this moment, this breakthrough, this opportunity, this season. And that is the beauty of getting unstuck. That is the gift of refusing to quit. That is the reward of persistence. That is the legacy of courage. Because when you get unstuck, you become living proof. You become the testimony. You become the evidence that greatness is possible, that resilience is real, that faith works, that hunger pays, that persistence produces power. And once you embody that, you will never again question whether you have what it takes, because you will know deep down in your soul that you were born to rise. You were born to soar. You were born to inspire. You were born to make a difference. And you no longer fear being stuck, because you will understand that even if you stumble, even if you fall, even if you pause, you know how to rise again. You know how to break free again. You know how to move again. You know how to get unstuck again and again and again. Because once you learn it, once you never forget it, you never lose it. You never let it go, because it becomes a part of you. It becomes your identity. It becomes your way of life, to keep moving, to keep rising, to keep believing, to keep breaking through, to keep chasing your greatness until the last breath leaves your body. Until the last breath leaves your body. Because that is what champions do. That is what winners do. That is what people who refuse to settle do. They keep moving forward, they keep rising, they keep learning, they keep growing, they keep believing, they keep stretching, because they know that life is not about perfection, life is about progress. And as long as you are progressing, as long as you are moving, as long as you are reaching, as long as you are reaching, as long as you are trying, you are winning. Even if you stumble, even if you fall, even if you crawl forward, you are still moving. And that is what matters, because progress produces confidence, progress produces clarity, progress produces energy. And the more progress you make, the less stuck you feel. And the less stuck you feel, the more you believe. And the more you believe, the more action you take. And the more action you take, the more results you create. And the more results you create, the more unstoppable you become. It's a cycle. But it all begins with that decision, that first step, that moment where you say, enough is enough. I will not live another day stuck in this rut. I will not let another sunrise pass with me still chained to fear and hesitation. I will not waste another heartbeat doubting myself. I will move. I will rise. I will fight. I will win. And when you make that decision, you activate power, you activate faith, you activate hunger. And hunger is everything, because when you are hungry, you find a way. When you are hungry, you create a way. When you are hungry, you refuse to accept excuses. When you are hungry, you refuse to take no for an answer. When you are hungry, you push beyond your limits. When you are to pray, Hungry, you tap into strength you didn't know you had. When you are hungry, you keep going when everyone else would quit, because hunger is the fire that fuels greatness. Hunger is the spark that ignites destiny. Hunger is the force that gets you unstuck and keeps you unstuck, because hunger will not let it sit. You sit still. Hunger will not let you stay down. Hunger will not let you play small. Hunger will not let you give up. Hunger will keep you moving forward until your dreams become reality. And I'm here to tell you, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry for your dreams, hungry for your freedom. Hungry for your breakthrough, hungry for your purpose, hungry for your future, hungry for your destiny, because the hungrier you are, the faster you move. The stronger you fight, the bolder you act, the bigger you dream, and the more unstoppable you become. So if you feel stuck right now, I want you to ask yourself, how badly do I want this? How badly do I want to change? How badly do I want to rise? How badly do I want to break free? How badly do I want to see what's possible for my life? And if your answer is, I want it with everything in me, then nothing can stop you. Because once the hunger is there, the fear loses its grip. Once the hunger is there, the doubt shrinks away. Once the hunger is there, the obstacles turn into stepping stones. Once the hunger is there, the delays become detours, not dead ends. Once the hunger is there, the failures become feedback. Once the hunger there, the pain becomes power. Once the hunger is there, you become a different person. You become a warrior. You become a fighter. You become a believer. You become a doer. And that's what you need to get unstuck, because being stuck is not about your circumstances. Being stuck is about your state of mind. And when you shift your state of mind, when you shift from fear to faith, from doubt to belief, from hesitation to action, from comfort to hunger, you break the cycle, you break the chains, you break free. And when you break free, you don't just set yourself free, you set others free, because your courage gives them courage, your fire gives them fire, your belief gives them belief, your movement gives them permission to move to, and suddenly your life becomes more than just about you. Suddenly your life becomes an example, a light, a testimony that someone else needed to see, because someone is watching you right now. Someone is waiting for you to rise. Someone is waiting for you to get unstuck. Someone is waiting for you to live your dreams so that they will believe they can live theirs. And that is why you cannot stay stuck. That is why you cannot quit. That is why you cannot give up. That is why you cannot play small, because your life matters, your dreams matter, your example matters, your purpose matters, your legacy matters. And when you rise, you lift others. When you shine, you light the path for others. When you win, you show others that they can win too. And that is what makes this journey so powerful. That is what makes getting unstuck so important. Because it's not just about you, it's about everyone connected to you, everyone influenced by you, everyone inspired by you. And when you finally understand that you will never again hesitate, you will never again procrastinate, you will never again settle, because you will know that your life is bigger than you. Your dream is bigger than you. Your purpose is bigger than you. Your calling is bigger than you, and you must rise. You must get unstuck. You must break free, because the world needs you. The world needs your voice. The world needs your gift. The world needs your story. The world needs your courage. The world needs your dream, and the world cannot afford for you stay stuck one day longer, because life is calling you, greatness is calling you, your future is calling you, and you have to answer that call with courage. You have to answer that call with faith. You have to answer that call with hunger. And every time you take a step forward, you are answering that call. Every time you rise up after being knocked down, you are answering that call. Every time you decide to believe instead of doubt, you are answering that call. Every time you keep moving when fear tells you to stop, you are answering that call. And the more you answer, the stronger you become, the clearer you become, the freer you become. And freedom is what this is all about. Because being stuck is a prison. It is a cage made of fear, doubt, and excuses. And you were never meant to live in a cage. You were meant to fly. You were meant to soar. You were meant to expand. You were meant to create. You were meant to live full. And when you settle for stuck, you cheat yourself out of that freedom. You cheat yourself out of that flight. You cheat yourself out of that expansion. And that is why you must refuse to stay stuck. You must declare, I will not die in this place. I will not stay in this. I will not let my dreams suffocate in silence. I will move. I will rise. I will break free. And I will keep breaking free as many times as it takes, because freedom is worth it. Your dreams are worth it. Your future is worth it. Your purpose is worth it. Your family is worth it. Your legacy is worth it. And you cannot let fear convince you otherwise, because fear will lie to you. Fear will exaggerate the danger. Fear will magnify the risk. Fear will minimize your strength. Fear will blind you to your opportunities. But faith will open your eyes. Faith will remind you of your strength. Faith will show you possibilities you didn't see before. Faith will give you courage in the face of fear. Faith will give you confidence in the face of doubt. Faith will give you persistence in the face of obstacles. And that is how you get unstuck, by feeding your faith and starving your fear, by saying every day, I am stronger than my excuses. I am bigger than my problems. I am greater than my fears. I am bolder than my doubts. And when you speak those words, when you declare those truths, you begin to reprogram your mind. You begin to shift your perspective. You begin to ignite your spirit. And suddenly the things that once held you down no longer have power over you. Suddenly the walls that once caged you and no longer exist. Suddenly the limitations that once defined you no longer apply. And that is the miracle of getting unstuck, because it is not just about breaking free from external barriers. It is about breaking free from internal ones. It is about breaking free from the lies you believed about yourself. It is about breaking from the excuses you accepted. It is about breaking free from the fears you carried for too long. And when you release those chains, when you release that weight, when you release that prison, you step into a new version of yourself, a stronger version, a freer version, a more powerful version. And that version of you is the one the world needs. That version of you is the one your destiny has been waiting for. That version of you is the one your future is calling forth. Because you cannot fulfill your calling while chained. You cannot reach your destiny while bound. You cannot live dreams while stuck. And that is why this process matters. That is why this moment matters. That is why your decision to move matters, because it is not just a decision. It is a declaration. It is a revolution. It is a rebirth. And from this day forward, every time you feel fear, you will remind yourself. Bigger than this, every time you feel doubt, you will remind yourself, I am stronger than this. Every time you feel hesitation, you will remind yourself, I am braver than this. And every time you feel stuck, you will remind yourself, I know how to get free. I know how to rise. I know how to move. I know how to break through. In that knowledge, that awareness, that confidence will carry you further than you have ever gone before. Because once you know who you are, and once you know what you're capable of, you can never again be trapped by the illusion of being stuck, because you will always know the truth. Truth that you are powerful. The truth that you are resilient. The truth that you are unstoppable. The truth that you are enough. The truth that you are worthy. And when you live in that truth, you become a force of nature. You become a walking miracle. You become a living testimony. You become a shining light, and people will look at you and wonder, how did you do it? And you will smile and say, I got unstuck. I decided to move. I decided to rise. I decided to believe. And if I can do it, so can you. And that is how your freedom becomes contagious. That is how your courage becomes infectious. That is how your light becomes irresistible, because once you get unstuck, you give permission for others to get unstuck too. And before you know it, your life is no longer just about your journey. It is about creating ripples of freedom, ripples of courage, ripples of belief that spread further than you can imagine. Touching lives you will never meet, inspiring people you will never know, transforming futures you will never see, because you decided to rise, you decided to break free, you decided to live full. And that is the legacy of getting unstuck. That is the power of refusing to settle. That is the beauty of choosing to believe. And the beauty of choosing to believe is that once you choose it, once you begin to choose it again and again, until it becomes second nature, until it becomes who you are, until you no longer recognize the old version of yourself that was paralyzed by fear and hesitation. Belief is a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And soon you will find yourself believing bigger, dreaming bigger, acting bolder, moving faster. And suddenly what once seemed impossible begins to feel inevitable, because belief changes everything. Belief fuels persistence. Belief unlocks creativity. Belief activates resilience. Belief empowers vision. And when you have belief on your side, nothing can hold you down. For long, yes, you may stumble. Yes, you may face obstacles. Yes, you may encounter setbacks, but belief will always whisper to you, keep going, keep fighting, keep moving, because this is not the end. This is only a chapter. This is only a test. This is only a season, and seasons change. Storms pass, winters turn into springs, nights turn into mornings, and whatever you are facing right now, it cannot last forever. It cannot hold you forever. It cannot stop you forever. Because as long as there is breath in your body, there is power in your spirit. And as long as there is power in your spirit, there is hope for your future. And as long as there is hope for your future, there is possibility in your present, and possibility is all you need. Possibility is the seed of breakthrough. Possibility is the seed of transformation. Possibility is the seed of freedom. And once you can see possibility, you can never again stay stuck, because your spirit will not let you, your hunger will not let you, your vision will not let you, your dream will not let you. And that is why you must protect your vision. That is why you must guard your dream. That is why you must feed your faith, because the world is full of voices that will try to tell you to stay stuck. The world is full of voices that will try to convince you it's not possible. The world is full of voices that will try to chain you to their fears. But you cannot listen to those voices. You cannot allow their doubt to become your doubt. You cannot allow their fear to become your fear. You cannot allow their limitations to become your limitations. You must rise above. You must believe beyond. You must walk by faith and not by sight. You must declare to yourself, even if they don't believe in me, I believe in me. Even if they don't see it, I see it. Even if they don't understand it, I understand it. Even if they don't support me, I will support myself, because my dream is my responsibility. My purpose is my responsibility. My freedom is my responsibility. And I cannot wait for anyone else to hand it to me. I must take it. I must claim it. I must live it. And when you embrace that ownership, when you embrace that responsibility, you take back your power, you take back your control, you take back your future, and suddenly you realize you were never truly stuck. You were simply waiting on yourself, waiting on your decision, waiting on your courage, waiting on your hunger, waiting on your belief, waiting on your action. And once you give yourself permission, once you say yes to yourself, yes to your dream, yes to your calling, yes to your future, you will feel a flood of power rise up inside of you, because you were created for this. You were created to move forward. You were created to overcome. You were created to shine. You were created to inspire. You were created to win. And the only thing that was missing was your decision. And now that you have decided, nothing can stop you. Nothing can block you. Nothing can chain you. Nothing can chain you. Nothing can silence you, because you unlock the fire within. And once that fire is burning, nothing can put it out. Not rejection, not failure, not pain, not delay, not fear, not doubt, nothing. Because the fire of a decided heart is stronger than any obstacle. The fire of a committed soul is brighter than any darkness. The fire of a hungry spirit is greater than any resistance. And when you carry that fire, you carry freedom, you carry strength, you carry courage, you carry destiny. And no matter how many times life tries to push you back, no matter how many times life tries to knock you down, you will rise again and again and again. Because unstoppable is who you are, and freedom is where you are headed, and victory is what you will taste. And when that day comes, when you look back at this moment, you will smile, because you will know this was the turning point. This was the decision that changed everything. This was the moment you got unstuck and stepped into the life you were meant to live.